Hello, this is Peter Simonsen from Denmark. I'm one of the many men who have been using international dating websites with East European girls. This is my story. I'm one of the many men who unfortunately have been deceived, misled and scammed using these websites. And the reason why I decided to make this video is that it has been hopeless to ask the police for help. I contacted the Danish police 2 times, the American FBI 2 times, the American presidents 2 times, and nobody have wanted to talk to me, nobody have wanted to see my evidence, and well, therefore I decided to make this video and show my evidence to the world so that you, the man and woman watching this, can see if it's really true what everybody says in reviews and YouTube videos and so on. Do the girls really get paid to be on these international dating websites? Do the girls get paid money under the table? Do they even get the gift that you sent them, or is it just fraud? Are you really talking to the girl on the photo, and why isn't all of the anti-scam protection systems actually working? Well, the truth is I do not like to make videos. I hate making videos. So for me this has been a very big project, and this video is about an hour long, and I hated every second of it. I really only made this video in desperation because nobody wants to help me, and I hope that this will trigger debate in all involved countries, and that all of these dating websites, actually an entire industry with East European girls, will be investigated for what they have done the last 20 years. Yes, I said 20 years, because this is how long this scam probably have been going on more or less all websites. We're talking hundreds of websites, we're talking millions of men who have been deceived and misled on these websites. I'd like to say one thing because before I start showing you the evidence. Please make up your own mind. Do not just believe what I say, watch out my evidence. Also, there are good girls and there are bad girls. And not all people are deceiving you, but based on my experience, then there is a lot. And it's only gotten worse the last 5 years. Also, I hope this triggers some debate, as I already told you, but I think it's time to do a joint class action lawsuit against many of these dating websites. Personally, I primarily used Dream Singles and Anastasiadate, and I tried to talk and meet girls from a lot of other websites such as Date, Go Date Now, Uviva for You, and so on. But on these websites it's been impossible to meet anybody. I only was able to meet girls from Dream Singles and Anastasiadate. Anyway, I'm not qualified to talk about joint class action lawsuits and such things, because this is actually a complicated thing, because these international dating websites not only are in another country than I am, so it's another law system. Also, the girls are from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and Moldova. So it's crime across borders that also make things difficult. And then, of course, all of these firms, they pay out salary in dollars under the table and a cryptocurrency. And many of these big dating agencies and marriage dating websites, they also have tax haven accounts where they hide all the money. Well, it's my hope that we together, men and women, can fight back against the industry and to hopefully shut them down and put the owners to jail. I would be glad to cooperate with anybody who can help me this and do a joint class action lawsuit and be part of it, and not to lead it, but just to be part of it. I will put an email or something below here and how you can contact me. yeah, well, without further delay, let's have a look at all of the evidence I have here. And I'm sorry I'm not better at making videos. I hate it. Yeah, this is it. And in the end of the video, you will hear my experience, watch the girls that I was on dates with, and such things. Please keep in mind, this is not just two websites, Dream Singles and Anastasiadate. It's an entire industry that isn't working and haven't been working for, I guess, 20 years. I started in 2006 myself on Anastasiadate. There wasn't many dates there. Then I changed to Dream Singles, wasn't many dates. But all in all, I have reason to believe I was deceived, misled, abused, and scammed. And well, again, here is the evidence. Please make up your own mind, and then I will get back to you in about 10-15 minutes. Thank you. And here I am again a few seconds later. Anyway, I forgot to tell you and introduce the first thing we're gonna see, that it's an international dating website. It's in Ukrainian, and I have automatically translated via Google Translate. And from this forum, where a lot of criminal people, both the scouts, the models, the marriage agencies and so on, sit and talk about things. Then I have gone through the entire website and made copies of it, everything. I selected some of the most interesting posts there and translate them for you. And these are mostly where I have the evidence from. Keep in mind, this website actually only saves the data for about 2 months, then it's automatically deleted. But this website has been online for, I guess, more than 10 years, because there's a website there named Dreams Marriage, and it was she changed name to Dream Singles about 10-12 years ago. So that there even is a special dedicated forum for Dream Marriage, that is a very bad sign, and it can prove that that this international dating forum is actually old, and that is a bad sign, because this is one of the places that all of these criminals have been talking and buying this and that, and talking about salaries and stuff like that. Anyway, here goes. Okay guys, here we are at the International Dating Forum. It's a special website where the criminals talk together about how to cheat people and stuff like that. This is actually in Ukrainian, the entire website, and since I don't speak Ukraine, then I actually cheated a bit and I'm using Google Translate. And Google Translate is doing a fantastic work. Already now you can see it's an international marriage agency forum, and we have the different topics here. Models in the marriage agency, for example, this is the most interesting one. This is where they look for models for marriage agencies and talk about jobs and stuff like that. OnlyFans, there's also a lot of job offers for models and stuff like that. Organization of the work of the agency, that is actually just some dedicated forums for different websites where they talk about hiring translators, selling admin, and looking for models. They are not so interesting because people typically just put everything up here and model in marriage agencies. Anyway, you get the idea already by looking here that something is going on here, and these websites are involved. This is just a few of the most popular, well-known websites. Many of these websites actually have sister sites as well, so it's just not one website, it's many other also. And down here you can buy bot programs, mailing lists, and so on. But many of the dating websites actually have these things built into the websites. So there are tools built into the website, such as on Dream Singles, that can automatically translate, create fake letters, and keep track of the correspondence and stuff like that. And then down here we have sale, rent, we open admin panels. That is basically a forum where you can buy your own administration account on, example, Anastasiadate, Dream Singles and others, and then upload your own girls. Of course, these girls need to be verified, by their ID papers and doing a video interview and stuff like that. But once that is done, they can just put the girl up on the website, and then translators can sit and translate on the girl's behalf without the men knowing they're not talking to the real girl. But we get back to that. Else, there's some affiliated referral programs, some scouts looking for some work, and some talk about how the scammers themselves get scammed sometime and not get paid, and scout jobs. Actually, the entire system works in this way, that scouts go to the universities, they go to the nightclubs, and they look for pretty girls. They also go to the model agencies and hand out flyers to the girls there, to all the model girls. And then the model girls go to the marriage agencies, where they are given a free photo session by a professional photographer. And after that, they fill out a lot of papers about their interests and where they live and stuff like that. And then they do the verification process and are put onto the big, I would call them motherships, such as Anastasiadate, Dream Singles, and many other websites where they are exposed to the world. So that is how the chain works. Anyway, model in marriage agencies. Let's go and have a look. Already here on the first page, you can see in the top, model in a marriage agencies. And you can read the text yourself, but I already know that this one is very, very interesting. This is a scout. It's a scout named Tanya776. She works for the One Love model agency, and she cooperates with marriage agencies such as Dream Singles, Prime Dates, and others. You should be very interested in others. And actually, I made an account and I tried to ask her, hey, what other websites do you work with? Well, and then she came here with a long list. Anastasiadate, Prime, Charming, Find, Romance, Jump for Love, Natasha Club, Golden Brides, Dream, blah, 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 blah. So this one specific person, just this one person, she have a contact with a lot of girls, and she offered these to the marriage agencies, and then they are put on these websites. Keep in mind down here it says you get a monthly payment for using your beautiful photos and videos of everyday smiling, walking, eating, listening to music, etc. You don't need to chat with anyone, it says right here. The essence of the site is that it is paid. Men pay money to send messages to your profile, which will register with your identification documents if you agree to cooperate. A special trained person communicates, observing all the rules and regulations on the site, raising the rating of the questionnaires, higher rating, higher balance. We have many satisfied clients who receive gifts and income up to $2,000. And we can offer you a moment in monetizing of your gorgeous look, monthly payments, passive income, and presence. With other words, this girl is looking for models, or she's offering models that are put on the dating websites, and they get money to be there, and they get bonuses for gifts and things like that, and they don't even have to talk by themselves. Well, that's a great evidence, isn't it? So some of the models on all of these websites, and probably a lot more than this, are getting paid money to be there. Well, there's many others right here. Example here, this is just a model looking for work. This model, I'm not sure this is a real photo, but I'm looking for a job as a model in a marriage agency, and she's from Russia. Again here, modeling agency. We're looking for models for a marriage agency. I'm looking for a job as a model in a marriage agencies, looking for model for marriage agencies, and blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and it goes on. But let's have a closer look at this in just a moment. Else we have Anastasiadate. It's not so interesting down here, but they're looking for translators, and they're looking for translators for Arabian Date also. That also is part of Anastasiadate. And models for, yeah, here they're looking for models are required for the site Anastasiadate. It's not that, it's just job offer. And then typical people just write directly to that person. They don't reply here where everybody can watch it. Then they're looking for translators with experience and talking about how to share the money and stuff like that. And the same goes for Dream Singles and all the others, where they're looking for administrators, translators, models, and so on. And down here we have sale of admin panels, where, example, the top girl here, she sells administration panels, access to these websites. This is just one girl selling, but you get the idea. Here it's Natasha Club, Romance Club, Jump for Love, Charm Date, hmmmm, Amolie, Anastasiadate, Victoria Club, and so on. And actually, you don't see it right here, but I'll tell you later. But sometimes real girls leave the dating agencies, and then they reactivate their profiles and use the girl's identity without the girl knowing. So it's not just the men and the women who are cheated and abused. That is how it is. But without further delay, I will show you many of these topics more in detail, where you can read for yourself. Yeah, well, as you just see, this is just some of the evidence that I have from the website. And I think it's pretty clear to everybody that here is criminal activities. They talk about jobs, how to employ models in marriage agencies and putting them on all kind of international dating website where men like me and you are talking to these girls. And as you can see, the girls do not even have to speak themselves. Translators will speak for them and just use their identity to make people believe they're talking to the real girl on the photo. Of course, this is criminal, this is deception, and this is a scam. And all international dating websites actually fail in protecting the men against this. But please do not just believe what I tell you. You already saw some of the evidence, but let's have a look at some more. Well, as you can see for yourself, then you can also buy admin panels, in other words, administration access to some of the big motherships, all the big dating websites that you and I uses. So basically, everything is required to make a marriage agency in Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and so on. Basically, you just need a computer, a camera, and then you need 5, 10, or 15 girls. It's depend on what website you want to sign up to. And then you have to take a copy of the national ID papers and do a video interview and then upload their dating profile to the website. I can't remember if it was among the evidence here, but I do have evidence that where these people actually talk about that it's mostly at the sign-up process that these big dating websites that you and I uses actually do a video verification of the girls, while it rarely happens thereafter. They sometimes do video verification when a girl wants to meet a man, because then it's kind of obvious if the girl isn't real, then she can't meet the man. And actually, the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, maybe more, it's become more and more and more difficult to actually meet somebody on any website. It doesn't matter if it's Dream Singles, Anastasiadate, Date, or whatever. It's really difficult to meet anybody. Of course, I'm also in bad standing because I actually criticized these websites for a few years now. And even before I started trying to make the police aware of people being scammed, and before I also wrote some reviews of some of these websites that have been read by millions of people, then I started to, on the websites, to talk about my experiences, that I don't believe everybody is real, and so on. And well, let's put it this way, I don't think the websites were that happy about it, because sometimes I told the girls that I see them on many other websites and asked them why. Or I told them that I on another website have been talking to them, and they sent me a photo from another girl that I once talked to about 8 years ago. And well, let's put it this way, it wasn't popular. It created some disturbance in the chicken barn. and at some point I actually think they blocked my credit card, so I cannot use Dream Singles and Anastasiadate anymore, and also one or two other big websites. Not because I did something wrong as a man. Actually, I'm very peaceful. I never even got a speeding ticket with my car, but simply because I'm bad for business, and well, these websites have something to hide because they know very well that the men are being deceived sometimes, and they cover it up every single fucking time. I don't even think that they report the bad girls to the police or anything. They just remove them, and that is it. No men get paid a refund when they are abused or cheated. I have only one time since 2006 experienced on Anastasiadate that I had a 50% refund talking to a girl that scammed me there, and the money I could only use on the website. But they did not tell me the truth about why she was removed. Actually, she was engaged while she was talking to me. Well, they could just cover up things. They don't want them out public because it's bad for business and reputation. But if you just search for international dating scam and so on, you will find hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews. And as you see yourself with the evidence I have here, well, they have a really fucking bad case, I dare to say. Why doesn't the anti-scam system protect the men from this? One thing is for sure, if it wasn't possible to scam or place fake people on these websites and earn money scamming people, then this website would not exist. Well, that is how it is. Well, I have even more for you now, so let's continue. Actually, now that I'm talking about having a bad case and stuff like that, and bad reviews online, I think it's time that I show you something else, because these some of the biggest websites actually do have employees who sit and write fake reviews of dating websites, or at least that is what I think is going on. Because if you look at a website as SiteJabber, talking about reviews, I like to tell you about the website named SiteJabber. That is sitejabber.com, where you can find many reviews of Anastasiadate, Dream Singles, Date, and other. This website is good because some of the people here upload photos and stuff like that. This is also one of the websites where the dating websites actually are and answer questions and reply to long reviews people write and stuff like that. And I dare to say that many of the websites also have people working on these websites to write fake positive reviews because they simply do not reflect my real life experience on these websites. Let me give you a very good example. This is Anastasiadate, and we scroll down a bit. You can see the 5-star reviews, the 1 stars, and so on. But the first one I see here, it's a 1 review. This might look fantastic. He gets a 5-star review right here. But since I'm a very experienced man on these dating websites, I like to say something. This girl is Anastasia. She is on almost all dating websites and has been so for many, many years. I guess maybe 8-10 years. If you see this girl on any website, you should, I don't say it like this, run away. She's everywhere. That is a very bad sign that if you see this girl. But else, who else do we have down here? This is also a girl that has been there for many, 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 many years. And it's on many, many websites. It's not a good sign. But you get the idea. This is the positive. Let's have a look at the negative. They talk about scam, not secure dating. And this one is actually fantastic. This guy has written 6 reviews. That make him a bit more trustworthy in my eyes. Because he wrote more than 1. But he actually did a detailed investigation of the girl he's been talking to and found the girl's Instagram profile, where he could see that she have a boyfriend and was on a vacation with a man here and the same guy again, and they're even kissing while he was talking to her on Anastasiadate. This is a fantastic review, and it really just showed that it pays to actually investigate the person that you're talking to. Can you find the girl's Instagram, her Facebook, her VK account, and can you find her vacation photos and what she writes there, and then compare it to what you read in the letter she sends you? Then you can, a lot of the times, actually get evidence that something is not right. Example, why don't you tell her about the fancy vacation that she just uploaded photos of on Instagram? And it goes on all websites. And that is how it is. Okay, enough about this. Let's look at something else that really gonna interest you. I've been using these websites for many years, since 2006. I dare to call myself kind of an expert in being abused and lied to, and know what to look for. I know the girls. I know what photos of the girls that probably are people that are scamming you. Well, this is how I usually work, and how I find out who is a bad girl and who I should be careful about, and stuff like that. Okay, this is the front page of Dream Singles. It's a website that I've been using for many years in the past, and honestly I think it's more or less a big scam, and I will show you why in just a moment. So let's log in and have a look. Okay, we are now logged into the Dream Singles website, and this is what it looks like for all men who makes an account and come to the website. And on the left side we have some links for different things, and we have an information screen up here about how many messages you have, your favorite list and matches. And down here, available for chat, that is the girls that I put on my favorite list, the typical shows here, but also other girls such as Tomiris, where I clicked one time on her dating profile, and then she started popping up here, because now the dating website thinks that I'm interested in her, so they want to kind of promote that girl in the hope that I click chat now and start spending money on the website talking to this girl. Over here on the right we have the chat windows. This is also just random girls that are selected and a random text, and then they put them together and makes it look like that this girl wants to talk to me. But in reality, the girl do not know that she is asking me to chat right now. This is just a fake commercial where the website is trying to cheat me, to make me believe that this girl is interested in talking to me. This is a scam. You cannot do these things on another person's behalf to earn money. But as you can see, there's right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 girls right now wanting to chat to me, and this goes on 24 hours a day. And 5 girls is not even that much. Sometimes it's like 12 girls at once that wants to chat. Anyway, let's have a look at my profile. As you can see over here, I already have 3 matches. That's 3 girls that I put on my favorite list. For example, Christina is on my favorite list, and I'll show you in a moment why she is. But she is also on my matches list, and that is because I put Christina on my favorite list, and Christina put me on her favorite list. And honestly, though I'm a really nice guy, then there's something that does not match up. If you look at my dating profile, then I never had any photo. I never filled out my dating profile. I never wrote any text. I just made this account so I could make this video, and I opened it about 4 months ago. And I find it really weird and suspicious that any girl will find me interesting with the profile that look like this. So clearly something is very wrong. I'd like to show you first of all the messages. Every day a man gets 100 or so fake letters. Again, just a random girl is selected from the website's database, and then a computer writes a letter and makes it look like that this girl wants to talk to you and that she sent you a letter, but in reality she did not send you a letter. Again, this is a scam. This is criminal. You cannot, on behalf of another person, pretend that this girl is interested in me, so you, the website, can earn money and so on. So this is a scam. It just goes on every fucking day. Actually, that is one of the most annoying things on this website, that every day you get these 100 letters. So even if you were talking to a girl, then first you have to delete 100 letters every day just to see the letter from the girl. It's stupid. Oh yeah, and now there's even more chat windows over here from girls who wants to chat, but in reality they don't know that they're asking me to chat right now. Well, let's have a look. I specifically selected these girls to be on my favorite list, and the reason is I know that many of these girls are on a lot of other dating websites. It is in reality, it's like when a pretty girl like Daria comes to a website, then she instantly get a lot of attention, a lot of letters from men from all over the world. I can tell you on an ordinary Danish website where once knew a pretty lady, I asked her to make a profile and asked her then, oh, how many letters do you get in 24 hours? Well, a pretty lady, example like Daria here, she get more than 100 letters every day. 100 letters is a lot, especially since she replies 100% of all the letters. Actually, in all the years that I've been on different kind of these websites, 100% of all girls that I have ever sent a letter have been interested in talking to me. Nobody have ever not replied my letter within 48 hours. Nobody. Well, that's kind of tells you a lot about these websites, that if Daya gets, example, more than 100 letters in one day, and she's able to reply all letters every day to all men, no matter if what, and she's interested in 80-year-old men and 18-year-old men, then is that really real, or is that some kind of scam? Well, Daya is on like at least 15 websites that I know about, but she's probably on 25 or maybe even 50 websites or more. The reason is that many dating websites, they have, you call it sister websites of other names, but they use the same database of girls everywhere. But actually, these girls that I show here, I dare to call this girls that used to stay away from and not talk to. Daria is on a lot of websites. The other Daria here has been on the website for many years, and she's also on many websites. I don't think she's a good girl. Olga is a brand new girl, but she also is on quite a lot of websites. And Anna is on a lot of websites, and Christina, she's also on a lot of websites. But let's have a look at Christina, because she's actually a very important person in my video, because she's such a great example. I never spoke to Christina. I don't know her. I never wrote a letter. I never chat with her. I don't know her real life identity either. I don't know what is real and what is fake. But I know one thing: Christina is on more than 25 websites, and probably also 50. She's one of the kind of girls that are on all websites, more or less. At least that is my sincere impression. You can find these photos many places, if you like, and I will show you an example. Okay, this is Christina. On the right side is Christina from Dream Singles. And on the left side, it's Christina from Anastasiadate. As you can see here, the girl dating profile doesn't match. Example, on this one here on Dream Singles, it says she lives in Kiev in Ukraine, while on the other website it says she lives in Miami, USA. Also, the languages she can speak is different. Over here it's German, Spanish, and then it's English, Russian, Ukrainian. On this side she's a stylist personal buyer, while on the other one she's an economist. She's not online at the same time on the two different websites, and well, things like that. Also her text is not the same on both websites. Well, when a pretty girl comes to a marriage agency in Ukraine, she only fills out one single dating profile. She does not make a new one for every website. So something is not right here. One of these girls are fake. As you can see in the top right corner, it says that it's a confirmed profile over here. It means that Dream Singles, they have verified the girl is real. They have her passport. They have made a video interview with her and things like that when she signed up on the website. But the same has Anastasiadate done. It's also a confirmed profile. They also checked the girl, did a video interview and things like that. But yet again, then why doesn't the girl's information match on each website? I think you should think about that. Why doesn't it match? Why don't even her name match? It will be a simple thing. So this is one of these profiles are manipulated. There's no doubt about that. Maybe it's even a stolen profile, or somebody is using her dating profile to speak to men with the purpose of earning money. It's the classic. I don't know if Christina is involved or not, but it's the classic scam that goes on all websites with East European girls, and it's been going on all the time. That I've been there since 2006, and probably even before that. So this is not just one website that is the problem. It's more or less the entire industry. Of course, there's good girls. Of course, there's bad girls. Of course, there are websites that try to do things okay, and then there are websites that do not. There are even websites who are fake and just steal dating profiles. Well, all in all, the main question is how and why do the anti-scam systems on all of these websites not spot these things? Why don't they wonder why Christina is on example 25 websites or 50 websites, since this girl is actually more or less on all the websites that I have been looking at, that is like 15 websites or something like that. Why doesn't the anti-scam system notice this? And why do they fail to protect the men from talking to a fake person? Yeah, well, think about it. Anyway, here are some more of Christina's dating profiles. This is, now she lives in France, in Paris. She's a stylist personal buyer, just like on Dream Singles. But Christina with a C and Christina with a K, so it doesn't really match. Also, her dating text is different. But again, you can see it's Christina. This photo here is this one over here. Let's have a look at Jump for Love website. Again, Christina, this time with a K. She lives in France. She's a stylist personal buyer. But again, these dating text does not match. Example, I'm a beautiful, sweet and tender for the sake of my future husband. I travel a lot in Europe. There are two things. So all of these dating profiles are different. That doesn't make sense. Again, here we have Christina on Jolly Romance. Again, this small blue sign here, that is actually verification that she's verified. They got her passport, they did the video interview and stuff like that, and say the girl is real. But try and notice this photo here. She's walking to the right, but on this website she's walking to the left. I'm just saying, why did they flip the image? I think they're trying to hide something. Honestly, Jolly Romance, I don't really know the website, but it smells a bit fishy. I have a bit of a thought that they are properly stealing girls' dating profiles. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's just a feeling I have when I look at the website and what goes on. Then it just look wrong. Anyway, if you notice up down here, she's from Ukraine now, and she's a tennis coach. So it's a totally different job that she had. Here she was a stylist, personal buyer, and on Anastasiadate she was an economist. Again, this is Roman Compass. Christina again. She lives in France, Paris. Stylist, personal buyer. And I cannot scroll down because I didn't make a screenshot down there. But again, they also verified that this girl is real. I can't see it right now, but believe me, all websites say they have the real girl, they have the copy of the passport and national ID and stuff like that. It's just the same crap everywhere. And actually, while I was making this video, I decided to write to some of the scammers and ask if they could help me get in contact with Christina, because I'd like to ask her some question about why she is on more than 25 websites and probably 50 or more. They did not reply, but about 2 days later, all of the letters on Anastasiadate was changed. So this one was removed, and this one that is used everywhere was exchanged with these less known images. But if you look up here, 682 of the dating profile, and compare it to 682, then it's the same girl. And right now, by the way, she was living in Miami, USA, but now she lives in Los Angeles. So within a few days after I wrote to the scammers, then they changed changed the city. Well, what are the odds that a girl all of a sudden changes only pictures and city where she lives? Okay, here we are at Dream Singles again. And to continue the story about Christina, then remember that in about 4 months ago I made my profile here, and there is no information here, no photo or anything, so no person will really find me interesting. Anyway, I put Christina on my favorite list, and unfortunately during making this video I clicked the like button and she was removed from my favorite list. But actually what I want to show you is that I put Christina on my favorite list, and Christina also put me on her favorite list, and that is very weird. Also, you can already see these girls here are girls that I put on my favorite list, and they put me on their favorite list. So that is not a good sign, to be honest. Why would any girl want to put me on their favorite list? I do not even have a photo in my profile. Anyway, let's have a view at Christina. Okay, again, remember, Christina lives in Kiev, Ukraine here, while she lives in Los Angeles on another, and another on Miami, and another on Paris, and so on. And her dating profile doesn't always match either. But actually what I wanted to show you is that in 4 months Christina has actually sent me more than 1,000 letters. Yes, you heard me right, more than 1,000 letters. I get more than 12 letters every day from her, and as you can see here, it's just a list of letters on every page. Actually now you have already seen more than 120 letters, so let's just stop here. But one thing you should notice is that all letters actually have different text in all of the letters. So there's like 2 lines of text in this letter in all of them. It's just a computer that writes the letters, it's not Christina. And also all of these letters are sent not only to me, but to a hell of a lot of other people also. Yeah, well, the problem is that the website steals the girl's identity and writes a fake letter, and then they send the fake letter to me and all other men, making it look like that Christina is interested in me, and Christina wrote me a letter to get in contact with me. With other words, this is fake, this is criminal, and this is, I dare to call it an economic scam, because when you click the letter, if I had money in my account, or if I was had a membership, I could read it, and this is cost me money to do so. And that is a clear scam. You cannot just steal a person's photo and then make other people believe that they are interested in you. The same goes with the chat. These are just random selected girls and random selected texts, and looks like they want to talk to me, but in reality the girls do not know they asked me to chat. Christina did not know she has sent me 1,000 letters, so something is wrong. The website is simply criminal. It should be shut down forever and the owners thrown to jail. This has been going on in all the years that the website has existed. Actually, I think it was in 2008 or something like that Dream Singles started. But before that, Dream Singles was actually named Dream Marriage, and it was the same fucking shit on that website also. And as you can still find on the internet reviews from Dream Marriage talking about scam and fraud and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if the website was sold or if they just changed the names to avoid lawsuits and stuff like that. But it's the same crap. Honestly, the same fucking crap. Also, I wanted to show you something else about Dream Singles, but right now I will show you my favorite list, because this is interesting. These are girls that you should avoid talking to. You already know Christina. She is on many websites. That is not a good sign. Daya here is on a lot of websites also. Some places live in Kiev, others on Istanbul. And then Anastasiadate lives in Miami. So again, confirmed profile. Well, how much is it worth if the dating profiles doesn't match in different websites? Well, who is the real girl and who is lying? Well, think about it. I spoke to her on Lauderdate. And there she lives in Istanbul, was a dentist, and her family lived there and stuff like that. Anyway, another girl I like to show you is the other Daya here. Is also a girl you should think carefully about talking to. She's on a lot of websites and been there for quite some time. I'm not sure this girl is real either, or she get paid or whatever, but that is how it is. Another person you should be careful about is this girl. She's new. She's been on the website for about 4 days, I think. But she's also showing up on other websites. And, well, I don't really know if she's good or bad girl. I'm just saying she is on more than one website. And Victoria, she is on many websites, especially using these photos. I think you should think about that also. And then we have Anna here. She's also on many websites. That is not a good sign. And Ekaterina is on a lot of websites. We're talking more than 15 websites. That is not a good sign at all. And we have Olga. She's also on more than 15 websites, especially this photo is everywhere. She do always live in Minsk, Belarus, or Kiev, but honestly, I don't think she's a good girl, probably here to get money. I don't know, just saying she's many places. And with everything you've seen with confirmed profiles and profiles that doesn't match in different websites, then, well, who the hell do you trust? Anyway, I think that was what I wanted to show you here on Dream Singles. Oh yeah, there's one specific thing that I forgot to tell you. Actually, how many girls do you think that are here on the website? Because the commercials kind of tell you one thing and the reality is another. So how many girls do you think are here? Well, let's have a look at it. Well, as you could see in the commercial, then the website claims that there are 7 times more girls on this website than there are men. And honestly, that is totally bullshit and fake. I know this because I've been using this website for a long time and know there are millions of men who use these websites and so on. Not always active and so on, but let's have a look at it. I made this profile 4 months ago, and in July 22, I actually asked the website how many men and women are there on this website. I like to ask how many girls' profile are there and how many men. And support answered me, "Hello Peter, that figures change every minute from new members joining and other members leaving. This is true. Several millions of men and ladies is as close as I can get to an answer to your inquiry. It is impossible to give any accurate number for this." Well, I understand that. People come and goes and stuff like that. But there should be several millions of men and ladies. Of course, you can understand this as you want or misunderstand it as you want. That there's several million men and there are ladies. But actually, I do know the correct number of the ladies. So let me show you. I actually did not really believe there are millions of men and women on this website. So I actually sat down and counted all the girls, and that was a long afternoon, I can tell you that. But let's give you an example. If we take the 19 years old, then there are only 4 girls who are 19 years old. If we take the 20, then there are, example, 30 girls. I didn't count these, but I actually counted all of them about 1.5 months ago. So let's look at the number. But one thing, do you believe there are millions of girls on this website? Yes or no? Here's the answer. Okay, here's the answer. I hope you didn't believe there are millions of girls on this website, because that is not exactly how many I counted when I went through it. As you can see before, there were 4 girls who were 19 years old. But when I made this specific investigation and counted the girls, there was 15. And of 20 years old, there were 49. And there was about, I guess, 30 when I showed it to you. Else, all the others, 21, 22, 23, and so on. It's give you a pretty good idea that there are not millions of people, millions of girls. There's about 300 or 400 in from 20 to 30, and then it starts to decline as you go. Yeah, well, there you have it. So you just seen the amount of ladies that are on this website, and that the website cannot tell me how many girls or men there are on the website. And of course, it's also hard to keep track of. A bit of irony can occur right here. But let me remind you of how some of these dating websites work, and marriage agencies, and how the scam goes on. As you remember from the start of my video, then there was an agency called One Love Modeling who finds models and bring them to the marriage agencies, and then the marriage agencies take a copy of their identity papers and stuff like that and put them on the websites such as Dream Singles, Anastasiadate, and actually all of these in this side of the screen. That is just the websites that's this one girl that represent one model agency works together with. So I dare to call it, if you look at all of these, Anastasia, Afro Prime, blah 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 blah, and then look for the girls, example Christina in this video, then she's probably is on a lot of these websites here. This indicates that something is wrong if she can be in so many websites without the anti-scam system actually picking this up and noticing something is wrong. But let's have a look at the anti-scam system page. Okay, here we are at the Dream Singles anti-scam protection policy, and it's actually a bit funny, and let me tell you why. Down here it says scamming behavior includes presenting false personal information in a member profile. Well, these are something that the anti-scam system should protect you against. And remember one thing, all dating websites claim they got the real girl, they have verified her identity, they did a video interview and stuff like that. However, why doesn't the girl's dating profile match on all kind of websites? Example, she lives in Kiev here on Dream Singles. On Anastasiadate, she lives in Miami, USA, or actually she lives in Los Angeles, as you saw previously. But anyway, why do the anti-scam protection on neither of these websites and other websites spot that the dating profiles does not match each other? Well, do you feel safe now? Actually, it's kind of funny here on Dream Singles, because the next one is scamming behavior includes impersonating other people during communications. Well, let me remind you that here, this is a chat window, that these girls do not know that they wrote me this text and want to chat with me now. So the dating website themselves are impersonating other people's to make it look like that they are interested in me. I think this is a bit funny. Actually, it's criminal, it's a scam, and the website is responsible for this. Another thing that is a little strange, Dream Singles does not compensate its members for using the website, nor does it hire models to impersonate genuine members. That is true. Dream Marriage does not hire the models. However, the models are hired by Dream Singles partners that they cooperate with. With other words, Dream Singles have a corporate responsibility for everything that goes on in this long food chain, if I may call it that. Everything that goes on Dream Singles website is Dream Singles responsibility. So if anybody cheats you, it is Dream Singles responsibility to investigate and to compensate you. You're a victim of a crime. Dream Singles cannot just say that the down here up here that they will not compensate its members for using the site. If you're a victim of a crime, you should be compensated. And of course, both Dream Singles, the marriage agencies, the translator and the model, with other words, everybody in the chain are responsible for what happened to you. You should be compensated. Everybody else should be punished. But that is not what is going on. Typical on these websites, if somebody scams somebody, they just remove the girl and that is it. They don't even inform you why the girl was removed, and they just keep it secret. I know this because it happened to me on Anastasiadate, and they lied to me. Anyway, moreover, to confirm that no one other than our members are engaging in site communication require the use of a live video on a consistent basis. This is actually not true. On the forum where I found all of this information, people actually write that it only take place when the girls sign up to come on the website, and if the girl wants to meet a man. These are the only two times where they verify via video, and in the period in between, it is extremely rare that they do this. I'm just saying that once a girl is verified, then she more or less can stay on these sites undetected, and speak to people while somebody is using her identity and talking to men, and thereby earning money translating. It's actually a very bad setup, what is happening, that when the marriage agency put a girl on these websites and they make their own translator in the marriage agency translate a specific girl's letters, that is kind of easy to abuse. It would be better if all letters on all websites were randomly assigned to a translator, so that they cannot translate specifically for one person. But that was also make it difficult for all of these scammers to talk to hundreds of men on different websites. Believe it or not, it works in this way that when, example, Christina, she talks to me here in Dream Singles, and I go to Anastasiadate and talk to her there, then Christina kind of know who I am and can continue the correspondence there if I change the website. So something is registered about users across websites, or maybe I should say the translator who is responsible for the girl. She just makes a long list of male IDs who talk to the girl, and then she writes down some helpful text so she can talk to the man everywhere if he shows up. That is also one reason why that on, I dare to call, almost all dating websites, you cannot, as a man, have your dating profile deleted. Believe me, I tried to have my profile on Anastasiadate deleted. I tried to have it deleted on Dream Singles, for example. On Dream Singles, they just put it on pause and hide it, but I can see it's still there because when I type in my email and ask to have sent a new password, then the website respond differently if I type in a fake email address. Then it say it doesn't recognize it, but when I type in mine, then I can see it behaves differently. So they are hiding people's profiles, and the reason is they can keep track of you if you come back and continue where you left off. So they never delete your profile. Also, I know on Anastasiadate, they actually keep your letters for like 12 years before they automatically delete it. Else you can read the rest of the text down here if you want. Just put the video on pause. Actually, I want to show you this now that we're talking about deactivated and hidden dating profiles. Sometimes the girls themselves get cheated and abused also, and here is a very good example. This is a marriage agency that have 9 active profiles at the moment and an admin panel. With other words, they can upload girls on, example, Dream Singles, and they have 74 old dating profiles that have been deactivated and put on pause, and the girl is not on the website anymore. But anyway, it's possible to activate those who interest you. I will give all the data. I will provide photos from the filming of the girls. With other words, here are criminals that offer to reactivate old girls' dating profiles, and then they will have their own people, example translator, sit and write letters using the fake girl's identity, and then men sit and talk to an employee, with other words, a fake person. This is of course very criminal and an economic scam, but I think you should also notice that I will provide photos from the filming of the girls. They will use these photos to verify the girl is real when the big dating websites try to confirm that they're real, alive, and stuff like that. Then they just play a video and so on. So that is one way the scam happens. But sometimes girls' dating profiles get reactivated without them knowing, and they are abused too. But again, why doesn't the website's anti-scam protection spot this? Why isn't it working? Honestly, this is nothing new. It's been going on for more than 10 years, probably 15, 20 years, that they have been able to trick the anti-scam protection system and operate on all kind of websites, and using stolen identities, or girls get paid to be there and stuff like that. Why don't they protect you and me from such criminal idiots? Well, that is the big question. But enough of this. I think it's time that I tell you about my experiences and show you the girls that I've been talking to, and especially the ones that I met in real life. And here is that video. Some of you might wonder, well, did I actually meet some of these girls while I've been corresponding with them and so on? And actually, yes, I met many girls on dates in Ukraine. And the girl on the photo right now is actually my ex-girlfriend, Larissa from Kharkov. I was on the first date with her in 2006, and I dated her for 2 years, and we even become engaged. But she disappeared at some point without saying goodbye or explanation or anything. This is me and Larissa in Kharkov, and this is also Larissa. She was, by the way, Miss Kharkov number 2 in some kind of beauty contest, and she's a medical doctor today and have a girl. I haven't spoken to her for over 10 years. This is Julia from Kiev. She is a model and a doctor, and I was on 2 dates with her, and she seems like a very nice girl. We played bowling together. And this is from Odessa. I cannot remember the name of the girl, but she was a nice person. And this is also from Odessa. This is from a dating party that Anastasiadate held many years ago. And there was like 30 or 40 men, and I don't know, 200 girls, and she was one of them. I didn't know her before I came, but she was also a very nice, calm and gentle lady. We had one dinner and spoke and so on, and after I traveled home, we corresponded for a few months, but I don't think she was the girl I was looking for. But a very nice girl. She was from Moldova, by the way. And another girl from the party, she also was very nice. I was on a date with her, spoke very well together. Actually, maybe I'd like to meet her again someday, but I don't have her contact information or anything. Well, this is from Kiev. She was also a very nice, kind girl, gymnastics, and she studied something, I can't remember what it was, but a very, very nice, kind girl that I also like to meet again someday. Julia was from Kiev. Actually, I think she lived in Lviv, but very beautiful lady. And that is what I want to say about that. It's hard to see, but this is me and Julia. She's not on the dating website anymore. I traveled 2 times to Kiev to meet her, and every time she only had 2 hours for me. That was actually very sad, to be honest. Yeah. Here I am with Carolina. I think she was named. She was a TV host with a really great technology program. I saw some of the videos that she was in. Really, really talented girl. And we was on one date, eating sushi and stuff like that. And she drove me to the airport before I go home. Today she is a TV editor, I think, at a TV station. I'm not quite sure. It's many years ago since I spoke to her. And she also set me up on a blind date with the girl in the photo here, Anastasia. We were on one really great date in Kiev, just talking and walking around shopping centers and things like that. Very nice girl. Who unfortunately have a little problem with spending money. Well, unfortunately that fell apart. I thought she was a really great person, but well, it wasn't meant to be. Lubov, I met a single time on a date after talking to her for like 1.5 years, something like that. It was a really funny date. We just had dinner and walked together on the main street in Kiev. This is from our date, and she was a really nice person. At least at that time. Later on, she actually abused me. Said in other words, I was talking to her on Anastasiadate, and while we were corresponding, after we met on the date, we keep talking, and I was excited about coming back and meeting her again. But after month after month, it was just impossible to come and see her again, and she did not reply my questions and stuff like that. So I found out something was not right, and then I started looking on social media such as Facebook and VK, and found out that there was vacation photos of her together with a man in Odessa, and as you can see, there's a big ring on her finger, and also there was some photos of her in a wedding dress. So long story short, after our date, she has probably met this guy, and they have been good friends, and they became a couple and engaged. And while she was talking to me on Anastasiadate, I made Anastasiadate aware of this, and she was removed. And Anastasiadate lied to me about why she was removed. They just told me they haven't been able to contact her local agency for some time, and she was removed. And after that, she started showing up on other dating websites, even though she now had a boyfriend and was engaged. So something was clearly not right, and maybe she was on the website to earn money, I don't know so, or maybe she was abused, I don't know. But nevertheless, I was the one paying the bill for that, so to speak, talking to a fake person on Anastasiadate, or a person who was not serious or telling the truth. Well, yeah, it's sad. She was really nice, but now she can go and fuck herself, honestly. This is Olga. She's an extremely famous person on dating websites. She was on more or less all websites, just like Christina you see in the video. I think she was on 50 or 100, maybe any more. She was all over the planet, to be honest. Very beautiful girl. I was on a date with her in Kiev, and she seems like a kind, calm, and nice person. We just had dinner for 2 hours and in some kind of restaurant in a basement, and honestly, we both had our heads hurt after we had dinner there due to the bad environment there. But I met her for 2 hours, and it was nice. She was kind. The day after our date, I see her on the street together with a Ukrainian man who touches her face, and they walk together towards the subway. And then I cancelled our date too, and told her that I wasn't interested. She claims it was just a friend, but personally my friends do not touch my face and flirt with me. So, well, that was it. By the way, she is married to a Ukrainian man today. and have a child. She also have a famous blog about baby things and stuff like that. But after the war broke out, I think that her blog has been taken down or something. I can't find it anymore. Anyway, extremely beautiful lady. And I was on a date with this girl. She's a programmer. It was in Kiev also. Also a very nice girl. And Irina, I was on a date with her one time in Kiev, opposite the opera house in Kiev. And very, very beautiful, extremely positive person. Maybe the most positive person I met in my entire life. I thought she was really, really nice. And we also spoke in letters before we met. But yeah, well, the date was nice. Irina was nice. I was just a bit annoyed about her telephone beeping all the time. That was really annoying. And after we was on a date, we did not talk anymore. I don't know. It was still up of me. She was a nice person. I just was a bit annoyed and things like that. And yeah, now today she is married to a man from Belarus. And yeah, well, that's it. She's not on the website anymore. This is Jana from Kharkov. I spoke to her in letters also, and we was on a single date in Kharkov many years ago. And she also seems like a nice, calm person. I later found out she was on a lot of dating websites, and well, enough said about that, but that is from our date. And this guy, it smells like a wet bear. It's from the main street in Kiev. It was raining, and I found this guy, and he was very nice talking to. And well, this is my story of some of the people I met. I probably forgot a few. I also was on some Tinder dates, but that is something I will tell you another day. There was also some people I spoke to who had traveled to come and meet, but who did not show up. I think of them as scammers. They probably are the people you see in my videos who were fake and where somebody used their identity to talk to me, and where it was just simply impossible to meet them because they wasn't real. And I'll make a new video about this, of the girls who scammed me, so to speak. Anyway, that is that. And actually I forgot, I was also on a date with Svetlana. She was a model and lived in Kharkov, and I was there for, I think it was 10 or 14 days, but we only met one time. And the reason why I tell about this date is that it was pretty funny. She came directly from work at 10 o'clock in the evening, so we went to a restaurant that had opened where we eat sushi. And the girl was actually falling asleep during the date, so the translator was sitting and kicking her under the table. So sometimes she wakes up when she kick her, and not to be rude, but that she was a cute girl, and it was a great date, though she was really, really tired. Then at some point in our date, a man walked by with how do you call it, the water pipe, and the translator asked me, would you like a hooker? And I started to laugh because in American a hooker is a prostitute, and I was sitting the other date with a nice lady, and then she asked if I want a hooker. but the reason is that she did not want to offer me prostitute. The reason is that in Ukraine, the person who walk around with the water pipe is called I think it's called hukla, and then she just remembered wrong. But it was actually really, really funny. I'd like to tell you about my experiences and my recommendations for what you should do about dating. First of all, I'm sorry to say so, but I think you should stay away from all of international dating websites where you pay per letter to talk to girls. The same goes with chat. The reason is the entire industry is just infected with criminals, and I'm sorry to say so, but there's no guarantee you're talking to the real person. And second, when it comes to girls, example in Ukraine and Russia right now, then many Western men are simply unable to go to these countries and meet the girl. And also many of the girls probably will not travel outside of Ukraine to come and meet you in Poland, Germany, or any other place. It's simply really dangerous for them, and they don't have any money either. Actually, this very moment, about 40% of Ukraine is without power, and many don't even have any heating. And it gets some places in Ukraine like minus 30 degrees in the winter time. So it's really dangerous, and there's not even electricity to power their homes sometimes, and it comes and goes and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to meet anybody. Of course, there are Ukrainian and Russian girls and so on in Europe and America and other places, just be aware it's difficult. But regarding dating, my best tip for anyone is really do not use a dating website, but instead go out and meet people in real life. Personally, the best experience I ever had with dating is to go to the Anastasiadate dating party, and this was in Odessa, where there was a lot of girls, where I just walked around in a circle and spoke to girls for like 5 or 6 hours. I could barely speak after after that party. And the reason why I recommend this is on a dating website, the girls you notice there are mostly the girls with a great photo. With other words, the models and those who look great in a photo. Personally, I don't look great in photos or even a video, but what really sells me is because I can be charming, I can be funny, and I'm nice, kind, and gentle. That is my strength, I get. And the same goes with some of the girls. When I came to the dating party with Anastasiadate, then I noticed a lot of girls that I did not notice at all on the dating websites. And the reason was simply I could see them in full person. I could see them smiling, they were charming, and they really had a great ass in their pants or hot dresses. While the pretty model that was there, a blonde, she was beautiful, but she just seemed like an idiot. Well, I'm just saying, at the dating party, in real life, when you see people, that is where the chemistry is. That is where you will feel something, not just by looking at a stupid photo. Also, photos made of a photo model and in a studio, I dare to call such photos fake. One thing is they use Photoshop to edit the images. That is one thing. Another thing is that they take maybe 500 photos and then they pick 5 photos where the person is in the most excellent position and look the greatest on a photo. Personally, as a man, if it's on a dating website, I think the best thing is really if you can watch a video of the girl, maybe hear her voice or something like that. And that's really a shame that many of these websites doesn't offer that two people can send each other even just a 10-second video where you can see each other and where you can wave or something just to see the other person alive. It really means a lot. It's not just stupid photos, especially for me, because I'm not looking great on photos. And things like that. Else, regarding all the dates I've been on, there's actually been the same exact pattern on all dates. First of all, I come to a website, I find a pretty, very pretty girl, as you can see, and then we talk for like, I don't know, 15 letters typical as the minimum to meet a girl. and after you exchange the letters, then you ask the girl for her either for her contact information, or you click a button that says set up a date. After that, you pay $100 to set up the date, and that money goes to the local agency for the translator to set up the date and arrange things and stuff like that. And I can't remember if it's also included 2 hours of free translation. Sometimes it is, sometimes it ain't. Anyway, after that, once you have booked a date with a girl, then it's time to buy the plane ticket and book the hotel and stuff like that. Personally, I live about 2 hours from Kiev in Ukraine, but for me, it's even not call it a long trip, but it takes 2 hours to go to the airport, 2 hours waiting in the airport, 2 hours to fly to Kiev, and about 1 hour or 2 hours to reach the hotel or apartment. The first, 5-6 times I was in Ukraine, I just lived in hotels, and I really recommend to stay in a hotel if you've never been there before, because they can help you if something happens. You can talk to them, you can ask advice, you can make them call a taxi or something. Regarding getting a taxi in Ukraine as a foreign person, I really recommend that you download the app on a telephone named Uber and use that. Uber is a little bit more expensive than Uklon, that is the local taxi app, but Uber is in English, and in Uber the taxi driver do not contact you and confirm anything. You just type in your address or GPS location, stuff like that, and then it's easy to use, and you pay via Uber and everything. So my advice, when you arrive at the airport, then turn on Uber and make sure you prepare all this from at home with entering your credit card and stuff like that. But when you arrive at the airport in Kiev, example, then walk away from the most busy place in the airport and then call an Uber from there with your GPS location. The reason is, else the taxi drivers, the ordinary taxi drivers will cheat you. It will cost you like 5 times more to drive the same distance as with an Uber. But that is a common problem in all countries when you travel. Anyway, once you reach your hotel, just check in and stuff like that. I recommend to rent a room with a double bed. And the reason is not because if you meet a nice girl, but instead it's because it's a better quality hotel room. You also get a desk and a chair, and typical is also more clean. That the single bed rooms are typical. Don't look under the bed, honestly. And also there are not always a desk or something like that in the room. Else, I recommend skipping breakfast in the hotel. It's typical, some very dry bread and so on. It's not that great, to be honest. Else, if you have been in Ukraine a few times, you can maybe rent an apartment. I really don't recommend that. And the main reason is, if your plane comes at 10 o'clock in the evening and you have to go to somewhere in a city you've never been, and you have to in Russian find the road sign or a number on a building, it can be really hard sometimes. And then you have to find the right apartment, and you can't even read the numbers in the elevators. I'm just saying it's not always so funny if you can't get the key to get inside an apartment at night in a scary place. Else, regarding all the dates, as I said, that's the same pattern. When you arrive, the typical arrange either to come and pick you up at the hotel if you have never been in the city before, via taxi, and of course then it costs money every minute the girl and translator is there, but then that is well accepted. Else you go to a restaurant, sit and eat and talk and so on, and that is nice. Typical, that is maybe 2 hours, and then it's a little bit 50-50 after this, if you will continue talking, or you will, example, go do something, go play bowling or something like that. But typical, it's my impression that almost all girls only have time for the meeting. Well, a 2-hour date, then you talk and you do your thing, and then typical, she have to go to work or do something else, and then you more or less for the rest of your stay in, example, Ukraine, just sit alone, not meeting anybody, or not even the girl writing you an SMS or anything. The truth is, in all the years I've been using dating websites, I have many of the girls' telephones, numbers, and email addresses and postal addresses. It's very rare that any girl actually show any interest at all when sending you an email or SMS. It's extremely rare that anybody, so to speak, cares about you once you have been there and you've been at the date. Even here, long after I haven't been on these websites, I'm still friends with some of these girls on VK, but actually no matter who I write to, they will pretty much never write back. So it's more or less the same. And if you by chance get the girl's telephone number and something like that, she will typically lose it after about 3 weeks, and then you have to buy it again, and even then she will more or less never speak to you outside of the website. It's my clear impression that everything more or less have to go through the website, and I suspect the reason is that that is why, because somebody can earn money talking to me there. Also, if you get the telephone number from a girl, there's no guarantee it's actually the real girl. It could just be we'll call it a burner telephone, just with a temporary telephone number, and then it's even not the girl that you're talking to, it's actually the translator. So it's the same. I think in all the years I've been here, there's only two girls who have ever replied my email my real email outside of the website. One of them is Julia, the model in the video, and the other one is Lubov, the one who scammed me. I once asked her a question about if she would be kind to tell me her story, but she actually didn't. She was just angry at me, and that's her problem. All in all, it just feels a bit like the reason why I'm still single, I guess, after so many years and meeting so many, is that I did not feel that people really cared about me, to be honest. I showed up on the date, two hours date, really, that was great, I met you, and then we, so to speak, had nothing to do with each other again, and then we could talk some more on the website, and then I could come to Ukraine again to meet the same person for another 2 hours, and then I could just sit there, look out the window for a week or something like that. It was just like nobody put an X in the calendar and find time for me, and that nobody really cared. That is how it felt to be there. And also here, many years ago, I actually do think, who of all of these girls that I met was really serious. I know many of them was on several different websites, and I also know today that I dare to say that all the girls that I've been on dates with, they they actually did not get married to a Western man like me. they married Ukrainian, Russian, Belarus, also with other words, men who speak the same as they do, and they have their own culture, so to speak. So it's really uphill, and although I'm grateful that I met and spoke to all of these pretty girls, then if I had known what I do today, then I would have stayed at home, to be honest. I was probably abused, scammed, misled, and yeah, well, that is how it is. Well, it was something that I forgot to tell you, something very important, especially if you really do these pay by letter kind of things. I recommend that you never correspond with anybody for more than 3 months. After 3 months, you have to go and meet people in real life. The reason is simply any correspondent very fast, so to speak, gets stuck with where you're just talking about what did you do today and so on. It's better to just meet, take a chance, and yeah, well, see people in real life, experience them, hear their voice, the smile, and so on, than it is to talk for 2 years and then you have some kind of imaginary impression about who you're gonna meet, if you really are gonna meet that person, because there's no guarantee that the girl will show up on a date. It could just be that you've been talking to, maybe to a fake person all the time, or the girl simply have lost interest or something, who knows. Also, I recommend, I know it's a little expensive, but you should really, if you really seriously consider to talk to a girl and really like it, then also go on video chat, just for 10 or 20 minutes, just at least one time. You don't have to do this often, but at least do it one time. And the reason is you can see the girl alive, and that is important before you dig down into a long correspondence with somebody and invest time and money in that. Because sometimes you could just see, no, this is not, I don't feel anything for this girl when I see her on the camera, and the other way around, she can see you, and yeah, well, chances are she don't like you also. So I would say just exchange, example, 4 or 5 letters, and then try to do 10-20 minutes in a video chat. And if it works out, then it's great, then just continue with the letters and go meet her. And else, well, then you could get out of it before you spend too much money. That is my recommendation. Also, one other thing, when you do a video chat with somebody, then try to wave at them. The reason is, unfortunately, sometimes video chats are just a recording of the girl. Yeah, believe it or not, but it can be a scam sometimes, where you're not talking to the real girl. It's just a video playing. So if you talk to somebody, then try to wave at them at different times in the video and see if they wave back. If she waves back, it's a really good sign that she is real. If you do not just sit quiet in the sofa in the same position, just looking at her laptop computer in front of her and nothing is happening, well, then you should be careful and wonder about what is going on. So that is another great advice. And my final great advice, I know that I'm speaking about you should try to go to a dating party and meet people this way. You need to be aware of one thing. Some of these firms offer such dating party trips that cost thousands and thousands of dollars to attend. First of all, do not expect that the photo models that you see on the website will show up at these dates. It's typical of other girls who don't get noticed that much. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, but if you dream about meeting pretty Olga from my video, then she probably will not show up at the dating event. Also, I think it's just stupid to pay thousands of dollars to go to these events. It's okay if it's a few $100s or something like that, because it costs to rent a disco or something where the party takes place, and also a little food, a little drinks, and so on, and they have to earn money also. but some dating websites offer trips that cost like $2,500 or $3,000. Personally, I would not go to these parties. I would like to, but I'm simply too cheap to pay that kind of money for going to a party. Then I can easily find speed dating for free on the internet in all kind of big cities, and just show up and take a chance. It costs almost nothing. Alternative, you can use dating apps such as Tinder. Just be very aware, Tinder is a place where many scammers are. Often the girls there who you end up going on a date with actually do not look like on the photo at all. Sometimes they try to make you buy expensive chocolate, and then after the date they go back and get the money back from the chocolate and share some of them with the girl who sold it. Other times they actually, you can see on Tinder how far away a person you're talking to is, and sometimes you can see, oh, she's 1 kilometer from you right now and you have to go on a date in 2 hours, and then all of a sudden when she shows up at the date, then you need to pay the taxi bill for her that she's been driving 30 or 40 kilometers to come and meet you. Well, I can see in the app you have been 1 kilometer away from me, so should we cut the crap, so to speak. But in general, Tinder is a shit place. It's a shit app. It's a shit firm, and you should honestly help to shut down Tinder also, because it's it's a criminal shit firm, to be honest. I was blocked there forever, and I don't even know why the hell I was so blocked for anything. I did not do anybody anything, and I can see when I search on the internet that many other people have the same problem. I think it's just their computer program that have some issues, or algorithms or something like that. And that is not just there because of that. It's also insanely expensive for what you get, and it's a shit app. So honestly, stay away. Actually, you can, if you want to really use a kind of Tinder to meet Ukrainian, Russian girls and stuff like that, then open a social media account on the vk.com. It's much like Facebook, just typical for Russian people. But up there, up in the top right corner, I think you can click on a button, or there's some kind of mini games or something like that. And there is a free app just like Tinder that you can use to go on dates. You just have to match a lot of girls, and then once you match, you can talk together. It has the same crap as Tinder, where you can pay to get people's attention and crap like that. Else, regarding dating, I also tried dating websites that is without pay per letter, where you just pay 1 month membership to talk to people. They could be on mamba.ru, for example, or Ukrainian Date, or whatever all the other websites are called. But I cannot recommend these firms at all. I do have a profile both places, but both places are filled with unserious people, fake photos, and even if you pay, there are more or less no guarantee anybody wants to talk to you. So that's a big difference from the pay per letter dating websites, where there's a 100% guarantee that all girls wants to talk with you. Even the most pretty top model wants to talk with you. However, on these more ordinary dating websites, it's maybe 1 out of 50 girls that wants to talk to me. So that's make you wonder what goes on the pay per letter websites. Why do 100% of all men get a reply always? And it's been like that for more than 20 years. Well, why don't the anti-scam systems spot that these websites simply write a letter to all men and are able to always be very popular, always get a reply to the letters and so on by top models. Why don't the anti-scam systems notice this? Well, the reason is it's big money. It's big money. It's all about money. So they don't really care. They just they did their thing, and then they more or less turned their back to it and put the money in the pocket. Anyway, also on the free dating websites, be aware that on many of them, example on Ukrainian Date, that as long as you are not a paying member, you will get fake letters from pretty girls or scammers. And the moment that you pay a membership, you will just find out these letters just include one or two words, hello, hi, or something like that. It's just totally worthless. I have a suspicion that it's actually the websites themselves that create these fake dating profiles, and they do this to trick the men to buying a membership, and after that they don't care anymore. And the moment that your membership expires after 1 month, then you see the same pattern again, that about 1 or 2 days after you no longer can open letters and read them, then this pretty lady will contact you and try to get your attention, simply to kind of force you or trick you to buy the membership again, so you can read the worthless letters. Also, once you have a membership and you can read these letters, there's a very high chance that any website you get, any letter you get, where people will try and ask you for your phone number in the very first message, don't reply them. I tried setting up. I made a fake email address, and I gave out my email address to them, and then many of these girls just sent me crap letters, viruses, and commercials, and all kind of junk. There wasn't anybody serious. Well, all in all, even if it's paper letter, like Dream Singles, Anastasiadate, Date, and all the crap, or if it's just pay a membership to talk to girls, or if it's Tinder with East European girls, let me put it this way: it doesn't matter what kind of website you are using, if it's an app, a website, or paid per letter or membership. It's yeah, how can I say? I will not call everything a scam, but the chances of being scammed is just incredible high, and therefore I cannot recommend it. The entire dating industry with East European girls on is sick, infected with criminals and bad people, and it is destroying it for both the men and the serious girls. And therefore I like to ask for your help to shut it down. We need some law changes of how things works and how these websites should be set up so people cannot be scammed. But that is unfortunately not something that I can do, but that is the politicians that have to do it. I can just highly recommend to talk about it, debate it, write to your politicians in your country, and take it up on a global scale, FN something, and talk about it and make some new rules, so we can stop all of these scams. And of course, again, as I said in the start of the video, I will be interested in joining a joint class action lawsuit against these firms, simply because they have been, the protection of the men and women haven't been good enough for the last 20 years. It's time to shut them down and punish the owners, the employees, the agencies, the translators, and the models. It's time to stop it. Thank you. Okay, I hope this will finally be the last video that I'm making. I'm shit tired of it. I just want to post this shit, and then that's it. I wanted to say that you probably wonder how much money did I spend on dating all of these girls on the websites and stuff like that. And well, I spent about, I guess, $20,000 to $25,000, and I even travel on a budget, and I'm cheap because I want the people to take me for who I am and not for the money. But I'm doing okay. I do own a house, I own a car, and have money in the bank and so on. So I guess I'm an attractive man in that matter, but I really did not want to spend a lot when being on these websites. I wrote on Anastasiadate hundreds of letters. I cannot quite remember it. I think it's more than 400 letters or something like that. In all the years I was there. And on Dream Singles, it was more of a paid membership where you can send, I think it's 30 letters in 1 month or something like that. And it costs $50 or something a month. And then of course there's the dates. I wasn't more than 15 dates times $100 each time, plus the food, plus traveling. I've been traveling to Ukraine for, I don't actually know, 13, 14 times since 2006 to go on dates and meet somebody. Sometimes I met more than one girl during my stay because I simply found out that for the first of all, my chances of meeting somebody was higher. And when I was in the city, I had the philosophy that I come to visit a friend and then we see how it goes. Instead of building up to high expectations and be disappointed, then I just treated people as a friend, and I came to meet them and go on a date to see how it goes. But actually many times I set up maybe 2 dates or 3 dates during a 1 week stay in Ukraine, and maybe one person show up, and later on, even if I had 2 dates, nobody would show up or cancel 1 day before I had to go on the plane. And since I can't refund my tickets or the hotel and so on, then I just decided to travel and using Tinder instead, or see if I could get a blind date somehow and just meet somebody. Unfortunately, I could not just ask somebody from the website, hey, I'm in the city now, do you want to meet me? These things was shut down many years ago. When I started on Anastasiadate, in between 2006 and 2009, I think it was actually possible to meet somebody with a day or two's notice. So if I came to Kharkov and the girl that I had to go on a date with did not show up, well, then I could just go to the website and ask somebody else and pay the $100 and then go on a date. It was actually fantastic. But you can't do that anymore. Anyway, of course, the $25,000 that I used were used on plane tickets, hotels, apartments, dates, correspondence on the websites, a few gifts, and so on. And actually, I'm cheap. I don't buy the gifts on the websites because they are so overpriced. I bought the girl's address instead, and then I used, I think it's called Flower UA, and sent flowers via an ordinary Ukraine website. It cost like half the money or something like that. But that is also where I noticed many times that when I sent flowers in advance before going on a date, then quite often the delivery man told me that the address does not exist and he could not deliver the flowers. And of course the girl could not understand that and blah 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 blah. But in reality, many of the men who buy the address of girls actually do not get the real address. It's manipulated. And the same goes with a telephone number. It's just a burner telephone that she will lose. I don't know, 3 weeks after you have been on a date with her and stuff like that. That's just the same pattern all the time. Well, of course, $25,000 is actually a lot of money for me. It's like half a car. And after sometimes I also travel to Ukraine without even meeting anybody at all. And then I just end up sitting in the strip clubs, drinking beer and watching girls dance, and cost me like I don't know, $80 for 5 hours or something like that. So it wasn't that much money, and it was actually a really great experience with that many pretty ladies, and at least I had somebody to talk to instead of sitting and watching Ukrainian TV in a hotel room. Well, I'm just saying. But yes, I am sad. I started in 2006. I had one relationship with a girl using these websites, and I met a lot of girls and dates. But today, which it's 2022, and I'm not married. I'm single. And when I look back on it, then I think more or less it was just yeah, well, it wasn't that great of an experience, to be honest. And I don't really know what to believe or not, but I'm pretty sure that I was scammed by some people along the way, and I didn't even notice it, just like you didn't notice it, or many other did. But I just hope we can, stop this industry and these firms for committing fraud against other peoples again. They need to be shut down, and the industry needs to be fixed. This can't go on anymore. 20 years is enough. So yeah, if anybody wants to invite me on a date, you can just write me a letter. I do have some experience. Well, else I don't know what to say. I think almost 2 hours for a fucking video. I think that is enough. Maybe I make another video about with photos of the girls that did not show up on dates, and who was bad girls and who was on a lot of websites and stuff like that. But just saying, maybe also make a correction and upload all of the numbers of the dating profiles that I met and spoke to, because I think it would be interesting if the police would investigate all of these old accounts with the girls, and actually I like to say investigate them. How many letters did these girls write on their own? How many people did they speak to at the same time? And how many sites was they on? And how, and then ask yourself the question: how is it possible that pretty Christina can reply hundreds and maybe even thousands of letters every week, and remember all of the correspondences on all websites and so on? When does she sleep? When does she work? And she's even a mother with 2 children. Well, how is it possible she can sit and talk with men from all over the world? And also, did Christina really know that she's been on all of these websites and so on? I think a lot of questions need to be answered, especially why doesn't any of these websites notice what is going on? It should be very, very easy for them to see how many emails a lady gets, how many she replies, what times a day she sits online, how many hours, and how many websites she's on. Let me put it this way: I don't understand why the anti-scam protection doesn't work or spot this, but I assume these websites care more about money than they do about stopping scammers. So let's work together and stop these shit firms. Thank you. Would I ever have traveled to Ukraine or Russia if it wasn't because I came looking for a girlfriend and to get married? No, I would not go on vacation to Ukraine or Russia. Then I would have gone somewhere else or stayed at home. But you maybe wonder who I am and why I started being interested in dating Ukrainian girls and so on. Well, many years ago, I was actually a soldier, and while I was a soldier, I sometimes eat dinner together with other nations' soldiers. Some of them was from Estonia, some of from Ukraine, and there was some for Russia sometimes, and the Foreign Legion, USA, Belgium, and so on. So I got around, and anyway, sometimes I spoke to some of the soldiers that was there, and I thought, oh, there's a nice to talk to instead of Danish girls who are hard to get close to and talk to, especially if they just look a little bit nice. Then they're kind of unapproachable. Anyway, I found it easy and nice to talk to these girls, and they reminded me a bit of when I was a young kid in the 80s and 90s, of how my mom was, and they were just really nice. I liked they were a bit old-fashioned, so to speak, and tough, more and more tough and so on than the Danish girls are. Will give up very easy because they have all their life had a lot of money and stuff like that. Anyway, here's some photos of me from Denmark and also from when I was a soldier. This is from a shopping center a few years ago. This is pretty ordinary me on an ordinary day. From my house when I was doing some of the renovation. This is where I clean my clothing and stuff like that. Sorry about the mess and the dirt. Somewhere near the ocean in Denmark on a typical day. And one of the photos I used online for quite a while. They're also some years old. Many years ago I had my own computer firm where I repaired damaged computer CDs. So when the CD got scratched, I removed the scratches, and then people could reuse their CDs. I had all libraries in Denmark as my clients, and rental firms and stuff like that for many years. But it was never the big success, so I closed it after I can't remember, 10 years or something like that. I also broke codes on computers and repaired all the kind of stuff and so on, and repaired computers. I've been repairing computers since I was, 11 years old, taking apart VCRs and stuff like that on my own. So I know my way around, and computers are still my big passion. This is a photo from Kiev, from an apartment I rented. And an old photo of me in one of the few times that I wear a suit. This is from Kiev, Selani Airport. And if you're going to Kiev, I can recommend this airport because it's only like 10 kilometers from the city center, versus Borispil, who is like 40 kilometers away. It makes a big difference. You get faster to Kiev, and you avoid an expensive taxi bill if you fly to Sulani Airport. Just a random bad selfie. Another bad selfie or something from my garden and from the forest, also some years ago. And this is also from Kiev, from one of the times where I lost 15 kilos of weight. So girls, if you're ready to invest a bit of time in me, and if you can help me lose some weight, then this is what you get afterwards. Well, it's up to you. Get started, lady. Also me when I'm 15 kilos lighter. This is also from Kiev, where I came to meet somebody. Oh, by the way, the shirt is Ukrainian fashion. Bought it in a shop somewhere. Me from Australia in 2003, before I even was on my first date in Ukraine. I worked on a big farm down there for about half a year. Mostly driving combine harvesters and being in the workshop and stuff like that. By the way, I have several educations. I'm an educated greenkeeper. That took about 3 years, 8 months. and I'm an educated heavy machinery operator driving big tractors, excavators, and stuff like that, and I can also repair many things. Actually, a really great job. And this is again from my firm. I had it many years ago. It was called CD Repair, where I received a lot of DVDs and software and video games that I repair and send back to my clients. I earned money doing that, and I don't have that firm anymore. This is actually from my from my second time when I was on free missions, free tours as a soldier, some so-called veteran soldier, since I'm experienced and been on missions. This is from one of the. We lived in containers with a window that wasn't air conditioned, and we had power and a TV and stuff like that. We lived 2 in one container this time, but the first time I was away on a mission, we lived 3 people in a container. In the winter time, there was like half a centimeter of ice on the floor and stuff like that, and it was impossible 24 hours a day to just sit in quiet. There were always doors slamming, people running around, generators, and you go on missions and stuff like that. Here I'm putting a new roof, like new, I don't know what it's called in English, but I burned this onto the roof so there won't come any water into the building. And you can see a mountain in the background. And I also built bridges. This is together with it's a joint cooperation together with other nations. I think it was Americans, the Foreign Legion, Finland also maybe. I can't really remember it, but it was a really nice event. Sorry, we're not building it. We are taking it down. It's been there for a long time, but also built many other bridges. And here I put a Danish flag on the bridge. But that was actually not that good idea, because then everybody else also had to do it. It was bad judgment from my side, but hey, I'm just a human. And here I am. I fell through the roof and cut open my leg, and I don't have any problems with the leg today. I just have a scar. And there's a little funny story that when I was at the American hospital, they first of all cleaned my wound, and then had sometimes the doctors, he said, "Oh, I have to put my finger in your leg to feel if there's any glass inside and other stuff." So he put his finger inside my leg and did a 360-degree turn a few times, feeling if there was any debris. And it wasn't exactly that funny when he poked my kneecap every time. But so I kind of covered my eyes. I did not want to see it. It wasn't that funny. And then sometimes I hear him say, "Oh, do anybody else wants to try? I'm finished now." And then I look up and there was like 10 people around the table just standing looking in the hole in my leg. And as I said, no, nobody else wants to try. It didn't hurt. It just wasn't that pleasant. And after that, I humped home and had a week where I didn't have to do anything. And here I'm making a desk. For one of the small containers we lived in. And from training, just some tiny hand grenades. They are not in the Danish arsenal, but with some of the things that we had to remove. And by the way, I'm an engineer, a pioneer, as you call it. I'm educated in explosives, weapons, and how to destruct them, how to remove landmines, put landmines down, create minefields, and building fortifications, buildings, roads, all kind of things. We really can do it all. We can also fight if we want to do that. Actually, if you haven't been a soldier, then any army, Air Force or Navy, basically you have a lot of specially trained units that all work together. With other words, I'm just a tool in a toolbox that can be used to solve specific solutions. I also repaired the roof on schools. I helped give school books to children out in the mountains, stop people from fighting a riot control with a plastic shield and so on, just like you see in TV sometimes. I helped rebuild the new National Guard and arrange different kind of things, help people with building bridges, securing water supplies and stuff like that. And I've been all over that country where I was, more or less. So I'm a very experienced soldier who can do anything, so to speak. Another photo from mission is from a shooting range, I think. And I found a dog. And here we are building another bridge. I also drive the wheel loader, excavators, mine clearing machines and stuff like that. Yeah, actually that was the best thing about being a soldier. That was helping other people and working together with other nations. As a soldier, I was borrowed to Belgium, the United States, the Foreign Legion many times. I lived and worked and trained together with them, and so on. And actually that was the most fun part. That was to be borrowed out to other nations, just to get away from your own military camp and see something new. And of course you can't really see it here, but I'm sitting in a chair. Another photo, we made an 8-kilometer road across a mountain to help the people, and also so our own soldiers faster could cross the mountain and get to the border and stuff like that. Yeah, so we were out in the mountains for a few weeks making road, in cooperation with Red Cross and many other things that donated the materials and stuff like that. This is in Denmark, many years after I came home. The top medal in the right side I got because I was injured in service. It was the first time in Denmark this was ever given, and the people next to me also old veterans that got injured who got the medal. And this is where I'm removing landmines in Kosovo on top of a mountain. I drive this machine. It cost about $3 million. And another photo after I came home for TV, for a newspaper who made an interview since I started to talk about that the help for injured soldiers wasn't good enough when they come home, and stuff like that. Here's another photo from where we made the bridge. Another photo, me again. And this is from a TV news station called TV2. It's a national TV. I was there to talk about veteran soldiers not getting enough help. And very long story short, I was in newspapers, radios, and so on. After about a year of being in all kind of interviews, then the defense minister, with the help of the government, changed the rules so that all soldiers today get 100% more money. They get better help. There's employed an army of psychologists. There's better follow-up when people come home from war and stuff like that, and veteran homes and many such things. But when I came home as a soldier, there wasn't these kind of help, and it didn't really work that well, to be honest. So that is why I spoke up. Was on TV several times, as I said. And this is from a radio studio of national TV, P4 it's called, where I was interviewed. I also was in another. This is many years ago now. And just some medals before I sent them back to our Prime Minister. I complained about some things, such as if I someday, as an injured veteran soldier, marry somebody, then they will take some of my money and give me less salary every month. I don't think that is okay. they so to speak make the wife help pay some of my salary because I'm injured. I think that's low, to be honest. They promised us a normal life, just like the healthy neighbor. Well, they still haven't delivered on that. So that is the reward for being, dare to say, a pretty highly decorated soldier and have done everything for my country. So that is how they treat people. But I do live an ordinary life and so on. And many people in the world are better off than I, worse off than I am. Honestly, I can go on vacation. I bought a house, a car, and money in the bank, and so on. So yeah, well, life goes on. But it's not reasonable. We don't get treated equally to our healthy neighbor. That is wanted to say. So I returned all my medals to the Prime Minister in Denmark in 2020 and complained about many things, such as lack of freedom, that the state has started to collect in people's DNA, in the DNA databases. I think that is a human right, that any person on the planet owns their own DNA. Nobody is allowed to take that against people's will. And the problem with DNA is, even if I say no, and example, a girlfriend, sorry, if my future children say yes, then their DNA will actually reveal information about me, because they have some of my DNA building blocks in their blood, and so on. So I'm against that. Else, yeah, well, that's it. Doesn't matter. Well, that was a bit about me, and today I'm 44 years old. I started with internet dating in 2006, so that is like 14, 15, almost 16 years ago now, so it's a long time ago. Today I don't work anymore because of my injuries as a soldier. I suffer from chronic stress after being a soldier, and I got the money, insurance money for that. I get my normal salary, and I get my pension and stuff like that. I get money from 4 places. So I have an ordinary income just like everybody else who works, but I just don't go to work anymore. I just take care of myself, my house and my family. I always made all girls aware that I suffer from stress and things like that in the first 1 or 2 letters that I send a girl. So everybody I've ever spoken to knows it. Some have spoken and talked about it, some have not. But everybody knows it, so it's not a big surprise. I did not write it in my dating profile itself. I thought it was a bit personal, so I only said it in private letters. I am not convicted of anything, not even got a speeding ticket. I just take care of myself, pay my taxes, and try to live an ordinary life with my disability. For me to make this video a bit very hard, because I get tired in my brain faster than you do. So and also just traveling, going on dates, it's hard for me because it's new places, new impressions, new sounds, and so I'm really tired after I get home. For me to travel is not relaxing, it's actually very stressful, and well, that is how it is. Anyway, I can still be a good boyfriend and husband for a girl who can live with my disability, that I take life a bit more slow and avoid some things. Other than that, I do live just an ordinary life like everybody else, and have 10 fingers and 10 toes. So if the ladies want to invite me on a date, well, I'll be glad to come. Anyway, I think this is enough, so let's stop now.